Hello and Minglaba, welcome to Myanmar Today. I am Henry Zin with the latest news and reports from around Myanmar. Agacho prepared a report on YBS remaining the primary mode of transport for another decade. Yangon got a report on 12 more local and foreign investments approved in Yangon. David Tanner covered a story on Bombay Burmah building receiving blue plaque. Williamson has a report on interoperability and Myanmar. Before we get to the reports, let's check on some local news. The Working Committee for Implementation of E-Government held its fourth meeting at the Ministry of Transport and Communications on Thursday. Union Minister for the Office of the Union Government U Min Thu, the chairman of Working Committee, suggested the implementation of decisions from the previous meetings should be closely monitored by its secretary. He also said the working committees and subcommittees are responsible for providing assistance in addressing difficulties and challenges of departments and organizations for better and more reliable online public services. Union Minister for Transport and Communications, U Tan Zimbao, the Vice Chairman of Working Committee, said implementation of e-government is aimed for providing good services to the public and to speed up the administration processes among state or region governments and union government. The 8th Global Media and Information Literacy Week was organized at the News and Periodicals Enterprise on Thainbu Road in Yangon on Thursday. Union Minister for Information Dr. Pei Min said the flow of information is very fast at present, and there are some remarks that the spread of fake news by using modern technologies can tarnish democracy. The Union Minister said participation of citizens is very crucial for democracy, and democracy is a form of public government participated by the public, and that their effective participation could bring democracy in full essence. He also remarked that the people need to have access to relevant information about the country. They need experiences of critical thinking. Young people should have analytical skills, which can be developed by knowledge and information from media. Union Minister for Education Dr. Myo Thaingji received Danish Parliament Public Accounts Committee Chairman Mr. Henrik Thorab and his party in Naypyidaw on Thursday. Union Minister Dr. Myo Thaingji noted the effectiveness of Danish assistance under the Capacity Development C Fund (CDF) in building programs and issuing the Teachers' Parents' Guidebooks, saying that Danish funding has been very effective in assisting in educational reforms in Myanmar. He also expressed the ministry's willingness to cooperate in the School Industry Partnership Program as part of the 2020 to 2030 National Education Strategy Plan. That's all with the local news, and we're moving on to our first report. Yangon bus service will be the primary mode of transportation for another decade until other means of transportation developed. Shareholders and the responsible persons from YUPT and YRTA attended the general meeting held at the Gandamar Grand Ballroom on Wednesday. Our reporter Agacho has more.
The Regional Minister for Electricity, Industry, Road and Transportation said the Yangon bus service YBS will be the main mode of transportation for another decade, as the development of other transportation means will take some time. The minister gave this comment at the general meeting of the Yangon Urban Public Transport Company YUPT on Wednesday. Shareholders and the responsible persons from YUPT and YRTA attended the meeting. There are about 5 million daily commutes made by estimated 2.5 million passengers, and YBS service is the main transportation mean for this daily commute in Yangon.
In Yangon, YUPT, Yangon Urban Public Transportation, is one of the powerful companies in YBS system in the chains of bus systems since 2017. YBS started from January 16, 2017, and it's been almost 3 years. YUPT has 19 bus routes and 1,349 vehicles. Yangon bus operator keeps the bus speeds and the accidents under control, not only from the YRTA control center, but also from their private control center. The monitoring is being done. We are also aware that YUPT monitors systematically from their control center. Yangon has almost 3 million people and 2.5 million people always use YBS every day in terms of populations and in terms of commutes. There's a 5 million commutes a day. Even though Yangon is one of the developed cities in Myanmar, urban population is not used to the habits of taking train for commutes. Actually, trains are regarded as the main public transportation means in international standards. In my opinion, we will have to depend on YBS for another decade, as we don't have a proper train network to meet the major transportation need. Moreover, in the past year, there were bus conductors and a lot of other issues in public transportation. Nowadays, some bus employ conductor, but that is illegal. We are trying to solve this issue by developing the card system. We need to try our best with focus on the YBS system until the other public transportation are developed. We will try to upgrade the bus gas system. We will also try to adopt the card system for all kinds of transportation means. Finally, I would like to ask the company to follow the rules and cooperate in doing business, not just looking for the profits only.
Yangon Bus Service is a bus transport network system which started operations on 16 January 2017. Efforts are underway to digitize the YBS service and the facility. Over 1,500 buses are prioritized to get the payment card system installed, and the system is expected to come into effect by the end of this year. So far, over 1,500 buses from 4 bus line companies have been tested, and the devices will be installed very soon. 4 bus companies are now ready for testing this system, more than 500 buses each for the YUPT, YPBC company, 300 from Bandula company, and more than 80 buses from Shui Dongbai company. The system is currently running with over 6,500 buses operated by 18 bus companies as a whole. Wu Sotong, chairman of YUPT, explained more on the investment put in the YUPT so far.
From 26 June to 24 October in 2017, 1.2 billion jets investment came from shareholders. Now it is running with 5.634 billion jet investment, of which 40.634 million is invested by the company, and the Yangon region government invests about 35 million jets. We are running with 940 vehicles, and so we need the workshop which meets the international standard. In 2018 to 19, the workshop was built and machinery and facilities are set up for the workshop, and it costs 800 million jets. Now we have control center to monitor the vehicles daily and CCTV installed on our buses to keep an eye on the system.
This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on YBS remaining the primary mode of transport for another decade. Alright, we'll move on to weather forecast. In Yangon, it will be partly sunny with a shower in places in the afternoon, and it will be partly cloudy. A shower in spots in the evening, followed by a thunderstorm late at night. The temperature throughout the day will be in the mid-30s, and there's 43% chance of rain for the day, with wind gusts at 13 km per hour. In Naypyidaw, it's sunshine during the day, and it will be mainly clear with a shower or thunderstorm in spots at night. The temperature throughout the day will be in the mid-30s as well, and there's an extremely low chance of rain for the day, with wind gusts at 9 km per hour. In Mandalay, it will be mostly sunny and very warm during the day, and it's just clear skies at night. The temperature throughout the day will be in the mid-30s, and there's also a very low chance of rain for the day, with wind gusts at 11 km per hour. Stay with us, we have another report coming up, and then we'll check on the stocks and currency exchange rates. Foreign direct investment plays an important part when it comes to the economic growth. And during this week, Yangon Region Government Committee approved 12 more local and foreign investments in the region, which amounts to over $22 million and 880 million jats. Yanai reports.
Yangon Region Investment Committee held its 18th meeting for this year at the head office on Wednesday. The meeting was attended by U Pyo Min Tae, Yangon Region Chief Minister, who is also the chairman of the committee, and other members. during which Yangon Region Investment Committee approved 12 more local and foreign investments in the region's industry sector. 11 out of them are from China, Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, Chinese Taipei, and British Virgin Islands, and the remaining one local enterprise. During the press conference on 30 October, Norban Tenzamyo, Yangon Region Minister for Kayin Ethnic Affairs, who is also the member of the committee, announced the committee's approval, which grants 12 more local and foreign investment, accounting for USD 22.352 million and 880 million kyats.
Today we received the investment proposal from 12 more enterprises. 10 out of them are garment enterprises, including clothing, jumper, and belt manufacturers. The rest includes solar power enterprise and auto rickshaw maker. The committee will also give the approval to the eligible investment applications in the upcoming meeting. But for some enterprises, they definitely require to get the union level approval. Once they have all the required documents, they can submit the application to the committee.
12 more investments approved by the Yangon Region Government Committee could create 6,261 jobs in Yangon region. At the moment, most of the companies here are expanding their businesses in terms of human resource, machinery, and also investments. She also continued.
Speaking of general affairs, the companies here are extending their investment. It simply shows the ease of doing business in our country. The business expansion includes human resources and also capital investment. We have received the investment proposals from 12 more enterprises. 10 out of them are garment enterprises, including clothing, jumper, and belt manufacturers. The rest includes solar power enterprise and auto rickshaw maker. The committee will also give approval to eligible investment applications in the upcoming meeting. But for some enterprises, they definitely require to get union level approval. Once they have all the required documents, they can submit the application to the committee. Speaking of general affairs, the companies here are extending their investments. It simply shows the ease of doing business in our country. The business expansion includes human resources and also capital investments.
Yangon Region Investment Committee also granted 4 foreign investments from China and Hong Kong Special Administrative Region and 1 local investment in the region during the meeting on 9th October. The investments account for $3.911 million and 1,245 million kyats, with 1,245 job opportunities in the region.
That's a report on 12 more local and foreign investments approved in Yangon. And here we have the information on currency rates from Myanmar Central Bank. $1 is at 1,525 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 216 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,704 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,975 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,121 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 365 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 50 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 21 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,511. Silver is at $18. And Brent crude oil is at $54. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI dropped 500 and it's at 11,500. MTSH is at 3,950. MCB dropped 100 and it's at 8,200. FPB went up 500 and it's at 23,500. TMH dropped 50 and it's at 2,950. You're with MI Radio's Myanmar Today. You can log on to our website at miradio.com.mm and catch other great programs live on the website. We're also running on FM 96.1 in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. Or simply download our app so you can listen to our radio programs on the go. Well, we have more reports for you, and we're not going to keep you waiting, so let's get down to it. The current Myanmar National Airlines headquarters was once home to the Bombay-Burmah Trading Corporation, which has a significant role in Myanmar's history and progressions. It has received a blue plaque on Thursday, October 31st. David Tanner has the details.
Blue plaques are permanent signs installed in a public place to commemorate a link between that location and a famous person, event, or landmark, serving as a kind of historical marker. With that said, Go Ture Aung told MI Radio about the detail of this event.
So today's event is a blue plaque installation event at the head office of Myanmar National Airlines, and it has always been an important heritage building. It was originally the head office of Bombay-Burmah Trading Corporation, which was quite notorious during our colonial past because the dispute between the company and King Thibaw led to the annexation of Burma in 1885. So it was quite an important place for our history, but our aim is not to remember the colonial occupants, but more like how we progress from the colonial past and to learn from the past, which they have a big impact to today's country in this time actually.
General knowledge time. The current Myanmar National Airlines headquarters that sit along Strand Road was once home to the Bombay-Burmah Trading Corporation, arguably one of the most successful exporters of teak during colonial time. The corporation had a bad reputation in Myanmar's history. The journey of Myanmar National Airlines with the building will also be explained.
The airline has been using this building and a different name, of course, since 1949. So when the Bombay-Burmah company was liquidated in just after the independence, this building was bought by the Union of Burma Airways and successively used by the Airways and now as a head office of Myanmar National Airlines. So you could see that they have already put on a display about the rich history of the airline as well as about the association with this building. So it's been a privilege for us to install the blue plaque at this important building as well.
Regarding the activities of Yangon Heritage Trust, how much local and international impact has been going on around? Let's find out.
So it's been quite a success, I would say, because more and more people are more interested in heritage building these days because of these blue plaque. They can learn quite a lot from the history about the history of the city through these blue plaques. And there are like some students are working on their paper on the blue plaque projects and also the building with blue plaque. So it has become an important curriculum for the some of the students. Of course, the most famous blue plaque would be the Lenin's blue plaque, but we are also one of the pioneer in Southeast Asia to install these kind of blue plaque. For the international visitors, they can learn a lot about our history, the city history, by looking at these plaques because these are bilingual, a piece of the history of the city by looking at these blue plaques actually.
In the event, Yangon Region Chief Minister U Pyo Min Thay also gave a speech for how important it is to celebrate Yangon's rich history and also about the former Bombay-Burmah building.
Our goal is to improve the Yangon city to be a place where people can live in peace and prosperity. Even though we have been going through all these difficulties and challenges, we have been trying to strive through all of those. As for now, we are focusing on transportation and etc. to make our Yangon's residents more comfortable in living and going around the city, to make the city history more accessible to people of all ages and backgrounds, as well as honoring key heritage heritage sites across the city is also our main focus. I'm also thankful to the Yangon Heritage Trust, YCDC, and Myanmar National Airlines for making this installation of the commemorative blue flags to former Bombay Burmah Trading Corporation Limited building possible. I'm very proud of how we progress by looking through the Myanmar National Airlines positive advancement in the industry and giving services to all the people in Myanmar in this rich history building as their main head office. So we can also see their progressions which has been showcased in this room.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on Bombay Burmah building receiving blue plaque. Well, here's the last report on interoperability and Myanmar. Interoperability is an important part of financial service where the users can process payments without the need of using cash by scanning QR code and other digital payments and digital money transaction. With the growing number of digitalization, Myanmar is in the process of implementing interoperability. Williamson will tell us more.
Interoperability is the property that allows for the unrestricted sharing of resources between different systems. This can refer to the ability to share data between different components or machines, both via software and hardware. Or it can be defined as the exchange of information and resources between different computers through local area networks or wide area networks. Broadly speaking, interoperability is the ability of two or more components or systems to exchange information and to use the information that has been exchanged. In a simple way, it is an easy form of moving money between a sender and a receiver who hold accounts with different institutions, irrespective of whether the institution is a bank or a non-bank. However, the process of getting payment platforms to understand and function seamlessly involves layers of technical, economic, and regulatory complexity. Some of the financial services which use interoperability in Myanmar are Wave Money, On-Go, True Money, and many more. These financial services allow the common people to transfer money without the need of going to the banks. With the aim to assist education on digital payment interoperability, educational awareness program to spread some of the main important issues, interoperability was held on 31st of October at Malia Hotel in Yangon. Speaking to the media, Mr. Brad Jones, Chief Executive Officer of Wave Money said,
Digital payments interoperability is, we're not talking about money transfer, which is a different product. So digital payments interoperability is really about being able to use your Wave account to pay for a cup of tea at a tea shop by scanning a QR code. So the commercial model, is, as Charles, the consultant, spoke about today, really needs to be developed. Pricing needs to be developed. So that really is still all work in progress. But I think as a philosophy, charging the customer hasn't really been shown to work in other markets. There needs to be a strong incentive for customers to actually use QR code payments.
We can say it's now an exciting time for Myanmar when it comes to payments. Development of mobile financial services industry has been multiple wallets launched in the market by both mobile operators and banks and large scale of customer adoptions. Many customers are accessing formal financial services for the first time, which is greatly benefiting them and the economic development of the country. Speaking to MI Radio on what interoperability does, Mr. Charles Niehaus, independent consultant in payments and mobile money, said,
It takes a lot of friction out of the banking system because you can transact at more places. And there's a lot of research that's been done that says the more digital money moves through an economy and the faster the velocity of the money is, the better it is for the GDP of a country. So the more transactions we have, the more digital transactions we have, the better it'll be for the economy of Myanmar as a whole. And, it's about the people that are using the account. So people that have mobile wallets, people that have bank accounts, that they can use this electronically in as many places as possible and not have to use cash and carry bundles of cash around. So it's good for everybody.
Explaining on whether interoperability means to operate separately from the bank or not, Mr. Charles Nehouse also explains.
What we've had banks that reach certain parts of the population, and you call that the bank population, and then you've had generally mobile wallets that go to another kind of a lower level where banks have struggled to serve people. So what interoperability should ideally achieve is that you can send money from any account to any account, whether it's bank to wallet, wallet to bank, wallet to wallet, bank to bank. So I don't think it should be split out between non-banks fighting against banks. It should just be integrated.
This is Winlinson reporting for MI Radio.
That's all the reports we have for today. We're now going to look into some international news here on Myanmar Today. A double-sided tape designed to stick body tissue together after surgery has been inspired by the way spiders exude glue to catch their prey in the rain. Scientists at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology noticed how the spider's secretion absorbed water, helping to secure their next meal. The sticky tape does the same and was found to work within seconds in tests on pig skin and lungs. The team said with more research it could be used in place of sutures. But they are still several years away from trials in humans. Getting tissues in the body to form a tight seal is difficult because water on their surface makes them slippery. Sidewalk Labs' plans to create a smart city in a disused area of Toronto can proceed, but on a much smaller scale than it had wanted. Any data the Google affiliate collects there must be treated as a public asset. Waterfront Toronto, the group charged with overseeing the development of the area, voted unanimously for it to proceed after imposing several conditions. The project has proved controversial. Sidewalk Labs had wanted to develop a 190-acre site, but was given permission for just 12 acres. It had also wanted to create its own group to oversee the data collected by sensors around the city, which was also rejected. The project will now move forward to a more formal evaluation and further public consultations. A final vote on whether to approve the project is set for March 2020. You're with MI Radio's Myanmar Today. Thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend. Goodbye now.